This is a calm Italian bedtime story. Let your eyes close and simply listen. The first thing you notice is the smell of warm metal. Not strong, just present. It clings to the air in places where trains have been coming and going for decades, where the night has learned to wait without getting bored. Your hand holds a small paper ticket, not because you need to look at it again, because it is something light to keep between your fingers. The paper is slightly soft at the corners, as if it has already been handled once or twice before it reached you. You turn it over. The print is clean, the kind of print that always looks a little too official. For an hour, that feels this quiet. At the entrance to the platform, a validation machine stands beside a column. You bring the ticket to it. The machine does not hurry. It accepts the paper with a small, dry sound and returns it with a stamp that feels final. You do not check the stamp. In Italy, you rarely check things twice at night. If a sound was made, it was done. You walk forward. The platform is longer than you need it to be. The overhead lights are spaced evenly, creating islands of brightness, with darkness between them that does not feel threatening, just empty. A digital sign above shows times that feel far away. You read them once, then stop reading. Time here is not something you manage. It is something that passes through, on rails. A bench waits beneath one of the lights. The plastic surface holds the day's heat for a moment, then gives it back. You sit. The bench is not comfortable, but it does not ask you to be comfortable. It asks you to stay still. A suitcase rests near your foot, not yours, someone else's. It is upright, handle tucked down, as if it is also waiting. The owner stands a few meters away, hands in pockets, looking down the track without impatience. No one is speaking. Not because people are unfriendly, because this hour does not require language. A train passes on a distant track, not stopping. Its sound is low, like water moving under a bridge. It fades slowly. The air settles again. You notice a vending machine glowing near the stairs. Its light is too white for the night, but it is a familiar kind of wrongness, a modern square of brightness. In an old place that does not need it. You do not go to it. You do not need to make a choice. You remain on the bench. Above you, pigeons rest on a beam, their bodies rounded into themselves. They do not move. They look like stones that learned how to breathe. A cleaning worker crosses the platform at the far end. The broom makes a soft, repetitive sound against the concrete. Not loud, just consistent. The sound does not feel like work. It feels like a rhythm that keeps the place from becoming too empty. A small station bar is still open near the exit. Not lively, just open. The glass door reflects the platform lights, and inside you can see the counter, the coffee machine, and a few stools that look tired. You stand. Your footsteps are quiet. The platform absorbs sound the way old places do. Inside the bar, The air is warmer, scented with coffee and sugar and something baked hours ago. A man behind the counter wipes the surface slowly, not trying to make it shine, just making it clean enough to leave alone. You order an espresso, not because you need it, because it belongs to this place. The cup arrives small and hot. The spoon rests inside it. You stir once, not circles, just one slow movement enough to hear the spoon touch the porcelain. The sound is clear. Then it ends. You tap the spoon lightly on the rim once so it stops dripping. You place it back on the saucer. In Italy, that small tap is almost automatic, not a habit you learn, a habit you inherit. A small packet of sugar sits beside the cup. You do not open it. The espresso is already what it is. You take one sip, then another. Not fast. The warmth settles into your chest and stays there. You do not finish the cup immediately. You let it cool between sips. At the end of the counter, a glass jar holds wrapped candies. The wrappers catch the light. You do not take one. The jar is not there to be emptied. It is there to exist. You return the cup to the counter. The man nods once, a gesture so small it could be missed. You nod back. No thank you is required. The exchange was already complete. You step back onto the platform. The air feels cooler now, but calmer. A faint breeze passes along the track, carrying the smell of grass from somewhere beyond the station. You look down at the rails. They are dark and shining at the same time, like something that holds moonlight without reflecting it fully. The gravel between the tracks looks almost soft. It is not, but it looks settled. A low announcement begins over the speakers. The words blur together in the echo. You do not understand everything. You do not need to. You understand the tone. The tone says, soon. At the far end, a single headlight appears, small at first, then larger. The last train is arriving without drama. Its sound grows gradually, a steady approach. That feels like something inevitable and gentle. The train stops with a long exhale. Doors open. A few people step out. No one rushes. A woman adjusts the strap of her bag. With a slow pull, then smooths the sleeve of her coat as if the night might crease it. A man lifts a paper bag and checks the bottom to make sure it has not torn. It holds. He folds the top closed once, careful as if the bag contains something warm that deserves protection. You watch these gestures without focusing too hard. They are small. They are enough. You step inside the train. The air changes immediately. Warm, contained, slightly dry. The seats are clean but tired. Fabric patterned in colors that look better under daylight. At night, the colors soften. Everything softens. You choose a seat near the window, not for the view, for the feeling of having a boundary beside you. The train is not full. A few scattered passengers rest in their own corners of quiet. Someone has a scarf wrapped high around their neck, eyes closed, head leaning gently against the glass. Someone else holds a book open, but does not turn the page. The book is more like an object of comfort than something being read. You place your ticket on your knee, then slide it into your pocket. The movement is slow, unimportant. The train begins to move. Not suddenly. It pulls away with patience, metal sliding against metal in a sound that is almost soothing. The station lights pass by the window like slow flashes. Then there is darkness. Then another small town. Then darkness again. Outside, the landscape is mostly unseen, but you feel it. You feel open space. You feel distance. The train rocks gently, not enough to disturb you, enough to remind your body that it does not have to hold itself so tightly. A conductor passes through the aisle. His steps are soft. He checks a ticket without speaking. He returns it with a nod. No smile needed, just confirmation. When he reaches you, you offer your ticket. He glances at it, stamps it once, and hands it back. The stamp is firm, final, the kind of sound that ends a small worry without mentioning it. He moves on. The carriage returns to quiet. You watch the window. Your reflection is faint. The darkness outside makes it hard to see yourself clearly. That feels right. Tonight is not for definition. Tonight is for drifting. The train passes through a tunnel. The window becomes a mirror. For a moment, you see the inside of the carriage more clearly. Faces softened by overhead lights, hands resting, a jacket folded on a lap, a phone held but not used. Then the tunnel ends. Outside returns, not visible but present. A faint line of lights appears in the distance. Another station, smaller, quieter. The train slows, stops. A door opens. Cold air enters briefly. Someone steps out, carrying a small bag. They do not look back. The door closes. The train moves again. The cold air leaves. Warmth returns. You adjust your position slightly. The seat creaks, then settles. You feel your eyelids become heavier, not closing, resting. The rhythm of the train continues. The sound of tracks is steady, a pattern that does not change enough to demand attention. Your thoughts loosen. They stop forming full sentences. They become impressions. Light, warmth, distance, a small cup on a counter, a stamp on paper. In Italy, even travel can feel like staying. Not because you are not moving, because the pace does not argue with your body. The train continues. Town names appear briefly on signs, then vanish. You do not collect them. You do not need to know where you are. You need only the sensation of being carried. At some point, the overhead lights dim slightly, not off, just softer. The carriage becomes a long room of low light and slow breathing. A soft snore begins somewhere down the aisle. Not loud, more like a sign that someone has stopped trying to stay awake. You do not resist. You do not chase sleep. You allow the train to keep doing what it does, and you let your body follow. Outside, the night keeps stretching. Inside, the warmth stays consistent. The tracks hold the rhythm. The seats hold the weight. The air holds the quiet. And the train keeps moving steady, patient, as if it could go on like this, even if you stopped noticing. More Italian bedtime stories coming very soon. If you enjoyed this moment of calm, subscribe and like the video for more gentle storytelling.